Hello, welcome to another video. Where am I? I'm here. Look at this place. I'm sure you know where I am, but I'm not going to tell you the name of the place just yet because I need to find myself a location. If you can see, it's a bit of a work to get down these big old steps. I've had to go back to the car a second time because I forgot my tripod, which is over my shoulder here. I actually forgot to pick my tripod up, so I've had to go back to the car to get my tripod. So I've had a few more steps more than I need to, and like you say, my glass is just there. Look at the state of that. I can only see out of one eye at the moment. But yeah, we are at a place I've wanted to come for quite some time. I never quite knew how to get here. I had a bit of an idea and a bit of a plan. I thought I knew where it was, but I've never actually been here. And now I'm here, I can see exactly why people come down here. What an astonishing place. Now, we've had a lot of rain. It's grey, it's overcast. The rain is laying off at the moment, which is fantastic. The last video you may have seen me put out, we were absolutely drenched. It was really, really bad. And we stopped in a bunkhouse last night, so we never really got time to dry out. But yeah, this is an accessible walk. You have to put a quid in the honesty box, a pound to park the car and a pound per person to walk down here. And I advise doing it, I think. The pathways up until these steps are well maintained, and the steps, to be honest, are pretty good. So that's what you pay for. You pay for the accessibility to come to places like this. So yeah, be honest, stick your quid in the box. Compositions, right, what we're going to do. Today we are going to work on bracketing, I think. Sorry, as in focus stacking. That's the plan. Because we're in an area where I want that valley, I want that water coming down through that valley, through the glen. There you go, we're at Fairy Glen in North Wales. Yeah, I want the water coming through the glen nice and sharp, and the hills and the cliffs and the rock faces nice and sharp, but I also want the foreground rocks nice and sharp. Now, I have not got my little stopper with me, my 6 stop. I haven't got the 6 or my 10 stop with me. I have got my polarizer, but I didn't bring my filters. I left them at home just to make my pack a bit lighter, but then I didn't realize we were coming here. So I'll probably end up maybe pinching one off of these guys if I need it. But I reckon with the light in here, stop it down to f16, something like that, I should be able to get a second or so exposure, which would be more than enough to make that water nice and smooth. What there are some lovely, lovely little whirlpools that I won't be able to get because you're going to want sort of 7, 8, 9, 10 seconds to get that little whirlpool spinning around with the bubbles. But like I say, I might be able to pinch one of their filters. I think Simon's, no, I'm not sure what filter systems they use, but they're not the same as mine. But we'll have a look, we'll see what we can do anyway. Right, I'm going to get a composition set up. I'll explain the bracketing or the focus stacking when I get there. These tools are already in place, they're already raring to go. It's really slippy on these rocks, so if you're coming down there in these wet conditions, it is slippy. There's moss everywhere and it is shiny slate by the looks of it, or at least it's hard stone, so it's really, really slippy. So anyway, enough rambling, let's get a composition set up and see what we can do with this place. And in all fairness, you can't make a mistake here. Every shot's going to be a winner. Okay, so composition wise, I've got the image set up. I've got my live view on, which is great because it saves me getting down close to the camera and looking for the viewfinder. I don't find I need to with the live view on this, it's fantastic. I do have to look over my glasses sometimes, that is one main problem. I'm bringing the camera down, I'm leaning the camera down. I'm at 23 millimeters. I'm leaning the camera down so I eliminate the bright white sky in the top of the image. And what I'm trying to do is to exaggerate the focus stacking for you. It probably wouldn't be the ideal shot for the falls and the valley, but I like the way the line's leading you in. I've got these lovely rocks in front of me, all with the green moss on it, leading you down through the bottom of the image. And in the top of the image, the water comes across and then off into the valley, up into the distance. With this image, I will have to focus stack it. With the polarizer, let me spin the polarizer, see what we're getting on the polarizer. We are about half and half, I think. We're going to eliminate the glare a little bit on the water, and we're also going to exaggerate the greens and bring out the contrast in the image a little bit more. The greens are absolutely fantastic. I've got the camera set level with the electronic level inside the camera. Tripod's nice and steady. I've got a tree and a vertical orientation. I've got a tree right over on the left. It's holding the edge of the framing. You can only see the edge of the bark. You can see halfway through the trunk of the tree. And the reason being is I want to get this little gold tree, and there's a little dead tree that's obviously going to be coming back to life. We are actually in the beginning of the year, so soon it'll be turning colours, but all the leaves are still on it. were sheltered. It's probably not got the wind, and it's got these lovely little golden brown leaves on it. So I wanted to keep that in there and make those leaves pop out. In the bottom, like I said, we've got these rocks. The rocks are leading you through. There's a lovely diagonal leading you up through the image. You'll see it in a moment. It comes from the bottom, just off the bottom left-hand side, and it leads you all the way up to just past the halfway line on the right-hand side, and then your eyes are opened up to the waterfalls in the distance. This will have to be focus stack, and it will have to be bracketed because I'm going to bracket for the water to make sure I get the darker shades and the lighter shades all in one shot. The histogram's actually reading near perfect. It's a beautiful arc in the middle of the screen, in the middle of the histogram, which is really, really nice. We're not in the blacks and we're not in the whites. I'm at F11 at the moment, which is giving me 1.3 seconds as a standard. For this exercise, I'm going to go to F10. That is giving me a 1 second base image. That's enough to get movement in the water, but it's not enough probably to get a fully sharp all the way through. Now I'm going to bring my focusing point down to the foreground, and I back button focus, so I'm going to focus right down in the foreground on the first rock, and I've got this 2 second timer. I've got to put my 2 second timer on. Fuji needs to sort that, and I'm going to press the shutter button, and I let the camera do what it needs to do. It's going to take 5 shots to bracket in set to 5 for. So as you can see, the Osmo stopped working. I'm not quite sure why, so I'm going to try something different and do a little bit of voiceover for you. These are the 5 images that the camera had taken, so I thought I'd just show you that and get that out of the way. I then move my focusing points up to the centre of the screen and then up to the top of the screen to get the different focus stacking points. We're then going to flick over to Lightroom. I'm actually using Lightroom, and I thought I'd just show you how I get through the process of putting these together. So I'm going to shorten down all the bracketed exposures, so we end up with 4 images out the full set of 20. I know you can see 5 on the screen at the moment, but I'm only going to be using the 4 as we work on it. So we're going to select the 4, go down to edit in, and we're going to open up in layers in Photoshop. This is going to take a little while to open up, so bear with me while the computer catches up. I'm going to fast forward best I can and try and show you what we're doing. So as you can see, they're now open in Photoshop. We've got 4 images down in the right hand corner. We select all 4 images, we go into edit, and then we're going to go into edit, go down to auto align layers, click that. You'll see it's in auto, leave it in auto, go over and click OK. And what this is going to do is going to take the 4 images and it's just going to align them all. This might take a little bit of time in Photoshop, but I'll fast forward for you so we can see what we're doing. So we go back into edit, down to auto blend layers, and we leave it on the bottom one, which is stack images. Click OK. And what this would do, this again will take some time to do, but it would actually set a layer mask on each individual image, and select the sharpest points and blend the images together to make the sharpest ones visible on the top of the screen. Just bear with us while this is happening. You can see all 4 images now have gone to a black color in the bottom corner. Each of those have got a slightly different mask on them, and you can zoom in, slide the image down, and you'll be able to see that it's pretty much focused from right at the foreground to the bottom of the image right the way to the top of the image. Click Ctrl-0 to get me back out again, and then you can see on each layer mask there's a slightly different section. If you click Control and on the layer masks, you'll see each individual section highlighted with the marching ants, just to show you the actual part of the images that it's used for setting up your complete image. Once you've done all that, go over to close and close the image down. So let's move over to close the image down and just check the name of the image just to make sure you can find it again, and click OK, and that will then take you back into Lightroom. Once it gets back into Lightroom, which again might take a few moments, you'll have another image pop up on the screen in front of you, and once it's there, you will see that at the top of the image it's got a different file name, and that file name is your new processed image. You can then take that image into Develop module and have a bit of a tinker with it. I've got a few presets I already use with my images, so I'll just do a quick scan through the 4 presets I normally use. They're all got a slightly different look to them. The dark image is quite nice. Let's go back to the dark image. I quite like that one, but I'm gonna have to just change the tone slightly on it. So we'll bring up the shadows just slightly, just to bring the darks away, and we're gonna have to adjust the yellows. So we'll just check on the yellows, just move them up and down a little bit to the right. I think I'll just desaturate them slightly just to make it look a bit more natural, and I'm just going to check the vignette just to make sure the vignette's not too strong, and I think that'll do me. So yeah, enjoy this image, and speak to you soon. Right, Simon just said I wish the sun would come out and give us a bit of light, but saying that, it's broken up there, it's clear. We may be very lucky to get some light actually. Yeah, he was saying about getting some light, and I just looked up in the sky and we've got blue sky up there. So we may get a patch of light. It's just been raining though. We've had the umbrella out and I've got my coat on. It's just started spitting again as I pick the camera up. I've got another image set up. In fact, I'm going to cover the lens up because I've already taken the shot. So I'm not going to go through it again, but what I will do is I'll explain what it is I was doing. I've moved over a bit more now and climbed down onto these rocks, which are a bit more precarious and a bit very slippy. Well, you know what I mean. So anyway, the image, what am I doing? Let's have a look so I can show you what I'm doing. I've got this lovely rock face just there. Beautiful, beautiful greens popping out the camera. Really beautiful, love the greens. You've got a little bit of rock that comes out just about there, which again, it works. I'm in two minds at the moment. It sort of works because it sort of brings you through a little bit, but it also acts as a bit of a stopper as well. So I'm not quite sure. Let me know. I want to know what you think. I like it, but you know, it's not to everyone's kind of taste. And then we've got the other boulders that have worn away a little bit more, a little bit softer and smoother. Then of course going off into the glen, off into the little valley or whatever you want to call it up there in the distance. So that's the shot. Right down here in the foreground though, we've got this little whirlpool going on, which again, like I said, I haven't got my long exposure filters, so I've worked on the fact of using an f/16 aperture, which has slowed it down to 1 to 2 seconds type of thing, and it's moving fast enough to give me that little ring, that little bit of movement in the water. And it's quite nice, sort of, what's the word, I don't know, training myself on my own mind to try not to use the filters because I haven't got them, so I'm trying to think out the box a little bit, which is quite nice, quite refreshing. But it's just difficult when the rain comes through, like I just said, it's a bit hard. Focused f/16 down here in the foreground. Probably the shot's going to be sharp pretty much all the way through, in all fairness. But I have also bracketed the shot and focus stacked the shot, should I say. Bracketed for the exposure and focus stacked to get that set of rocks, and the distance in focus. And again, I'll blend them all in. What I also done is a panoramic. So I've got that sort of section there set up like sort of about there on the edge of the frame over that way. And then I moved round to try and get this set of water in this side. And then I've also gone back and I've just gone past slightly that way just to sort of bring in a bit more of the greens and the rocks over there. I think that'll work quite nice as well because it'll give you a bit more of a squarer sort of 10x8 style image. And I think that'll work quite nice. But again, vertical shot because we're leading down. It's all about the lines going down through the image. I am going to shoot a horizontal. Oh, mind me footing. I am going to shoot a horizontal shot because I think a horizontal of that, just looking straight down and just taking that scene in, is going to be quite nice. The sky's gone grey above us again. The lights go in the wrong direction, so I don't think we're going to get any. But the atmosphere is beautiful. It's nice and soft, and I think once you've tinkered with it in Photoshop, it'll look pretty good. But like I say, the bracketing is just to make sure that everything's focused. The stacking's all the way through the image, really, really sharp, as best as it can be. So that's that shot. I'm going to show you that one now, or the finished product when I've done it on Photoshop and Lightroom. I'll be using the two programs, Lightroom to do my processing and normally putting my panoramics together, and I go into Photoshop to use my stacking. And I am going to try and show you, stick to this video, I'm going to try and show you on the program, and I'm not very good at it. I might be a little bit rusty around the edges. I've never done it before, but I will try, and even if I videoing myself type of thing, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'll have a go just to give you an idea of what it looks like when I put it into Photoshop. Yeah, another one done. Speak to you in a bit. What a way of grabbing a few subscribers. Look at this lovely couple come down here. They come down to get themselves a nice little selfie in the glen, and I've shoved them on camera for them. Make them famous, why don't you? Take care. Simon's just taking a selfie of him on the rocks, which is pretty cool. I am really struggling with my feet at the moment because I don't know where to put my foot. That's better. God, it's digging in. If you can look just down here, I've been stood down on the edge of this little gully of water and my feet have been wedged in between the rocks, just trying not to slip. Again, this slightly different position. If I can spin you around this way and just come back up onto this rock a little bit. I've used this side of this rock face because it's nice and green. I like the colours and textures in it. And I panned round, so I've got the gully, the valley, I've got these nice rocks, and get round onto that patch of rock there, and that green is absolutely stunning. Oh, my word, it's difficult to stand on this lot. I'm going to knock the camera back off because I leave it in boost mode, so it's on all the time, which is not ideal. So yeah, that's pretty much our little adventure for today down at Fairy Glen. I'm going to have a scout round. I'm going to try and find now a couple of longer shots. I'm going to put my long lens on and shoot right down into the valley, but I'm not going to video it all. So I'm just going to try and enjoy half hour or so just with me and my camera. I don't do it very often. I normally just shoot and I normally video just for you. Any images I get, anything I'm pleased and happy with, I'll put on at the end of this anyway, just to show you. But that's my focus stacking. Again, on this image, I've done a bracket focus stack. So I've bracketed for the exposure, which I'll explain, like I said, in another video. And in this one, I'm going to try and explain the focus stacking. Basically, focused on the foreground rocks, the mid rocks, and in the distance, just to make sure everything is sharp right through the image. Now, I'm not a believer of having to do this. I see a lot of people talking about focus stacking, a lot of people talking about you have to have the image sharp from front to back. It's got to be pristine. Personally, I like to have it a bit fuzzy in places. When I look through my natural eyes and I'm looking down into that distance, that's nice and sharp. My eyes are focused on that, but my peripheral vision now down here and down here, these rocks are fuzzy. So why should I make my images sharp all the way through? My eyes can't see them sharp all the way through, so why should my images? Now, I understand when people are looking at images on the wall and things like that, they like to get in close and have a look at all the detail. And yeah, it's nice to zoom in and get a nice look at the little leaves and, you know, the texture on the rocks and stuff. But personally, again, if I'm looking at this rock is perfectly in focus, but off there in my peripheral vision, off there in the distance, that is just a fuzz. It's just a blur up there. So why do we need to have all the way, right the way through the image focus? So that's my beliefs. It's not everyone's belief, but that's what I believe. And the light's coming out down in that valley. So I'm going to quickly scoot back over onto this rock and flick my camera on because that looks quite pretty down there. I'm going to quickly spin my polarizer and I just adjust my camera slightly because it's a little bit high. Just point it down a little bit. I'm just going to see if that light, I'm going to hit the shutter button anyway. Let's hit the shutter button, take it anyway. If I don't take it, I miss it. So yeah, I've taken that just in case the light's a little bit different to what it was just now. But yeah, I'm going to sit around, take a few images. I'm going to end now. I'm going to say thank you for watching. It might have been a short video, it might have been a long video. I don't know until I get home, do I? So I'm not even going to tell you. But yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks, you know, maybe subscribe if you like this sort of content. I've done all sorts of things. I'm very random. I try and mix and match and just get out and do what I do. It looks like we're going to have a nice little bit of light in the next half an hour. So let's going to enjoy this. There is a load of water coming down there. Till next time, take it easy. Don't forget, share and all that stuff. Notification bell if you want to see more videos. Till then, ciao for now. Bye bye bye.